Hi there, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about water. A lot of people are talking about water. Water is a right, and that it should be affordable and that it should be clean. And some people feel it should be treated as a public good and not privatized. Public good in the same way that healthcare should be a public good and not privatized, and that schools should be a public good and not privatized, and emergency services not privatized but treated as a public good. And so to that end, there's concern about accessibility to clean, uncontaminated water and the politics surrounding that and how it's been playing out in states such as California, which has been holding forums sponsored by the League of Women Voters, talking about the attempt by Nestle to privatize water supplies in the state of California, and that how the water supplies have become in danger of contamination through some poor decision making by utilities in California, and then of course the governor. Also, the Flint, the water crisis in Flint, how it was government inaction that or neglect that led to a serious lead contamination problem that affected the entire community. And that so far it's been a long road towards resolution. I recommended that this community actually be provided with Medicare for all, the same way that the residents of Libby, Montana were provided with Medicare for all to resolve the problems surrounding the water supply. In Flint, in Libby, Montana, it was asbestos contamination. And that Max Baucus, the senator at that time, fought for this. And who's the senator fighting for Flint? The people of Flint. Doesn't seem like anyone is, at least on that level. Certainly not the governor. But we also saw this play out in the Dakota Access Pipeline fight, the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, and their efforts to publicize all around the world that water is life. And now people really understand that water is life. That they got their message out. It was loud and clear, and people recognize that and are being more vigilant, perhaps than before, about what is happening to their water supply. And that we even see issues in Des Moines, Iowa, where there's farmers upstream from a major, so to speak, metropolis in Iowa, and that there's contamination of fertilizer, nitrates, into the water supply. And that's playing out in other regions of the United States as well. I created a video months ago where I talked about a movie called Total Recall, and how it's about the privatization, or actually the capitalization of things that should not be capitalized. Memories, for one, and then oxygen, the terraforming colony on Mars, that they try to capitalize oxygen. Oxygen is life. If you don't have it, you die. Water is life. If you don't have it, you die. And that it's a tool of power and control, and that some people would want to profit from creating scarcity of clean water. And that Nestle is such a company, and that there is even a fight against Nestle in Flint. That Nestle has somehow acquired access to underground aquifers of clean water, and that they are pumping that water out, bottling it, and then selling it back to residents of Flint at a profit. And so this is what we see, the capitalization of things that should not be capitalized. I mentioned Total Recall. There's even another movie from the 80s that predicted things like this, like RoboCop, where we see there's a capitalization of emergency services, the police force, by Omnicorp. I believe that it was called Omnicorp, that a private corporation takes over the police force and really bad things happen. And so I'm going to post a link to this article in the description regarding the necessity of clean water, what happens when there is not clean water, and there's a profit incentive to take advantage of scarcity. And that deaths result. I mean, for instance, in Flint, we have people who are permanently damaged from the lead contamination, and that there's issues with Legionnaire's disease as a result of not having access to sufficient water sources. And so it's a serious issue. Water is life. It is necessary for life. And so when you try to put a dollar amount on something that is necessary to live, whether it's water or oxygen or healthcare, things like this, emergency services, what, how far are we willing to take this? What's at the end of the end game here? And so, I'll post a link to this article in the description, and people can kind of read the issues nationwide and then worldwide too, as well, about the attempt to privatize clean water sources. Good luck.